The quiet teacher. In the heart of a sprawling city where glass towers pierced the sky and ambition echoed through every corridor, there lived a man named Nour. His colleagues knew him as the senior engineer who spoke in measured tones, whose presence brought calm to even the most chaotic project meetings. While others competed to be the loudest voice in the room, Nour had discovered a deeper truth. Wisdom is not found in speaking loudly, it lives in those who have learned to listen deeply. On a gray Tuesday morning, a young colleague named Give appeared at Nour's desk, his jaw tight with frustration. "They don't listen to me," Give said, his voice sharp with wounded pride. "I explain exactly how things should be done, but they just ignore everything I say." Nour put down his pen and smiled gently. "Come, walk with me." They descended to the courtyard behind the office, a modest sanctuary tucked between concrete walls, home to a few weathered benches and a single maple tree that had endured countless winters, its roots breaking through the pavement in quiet defiance. Nour gestured toward the tree. "Do you see this? It didn't grow strong because it demanded attention. It grew strong because it endured through seasons of hardship, adapting rather than resisting." Give's frown deepened. "What does a tree have to do with my problem?" "Everything," Nour replied. "Before your words can carry weight, you must earn the experience that gives them meaning. People trust what you've lived and proven, not what you've simply read or imagined." Give looked away, embarrassment coloring his cheeks. "So you're saying I'm wrong?" Nour shook his head slowly. "No. I'm saying we see things from different vantage points, shaped by different experiences. And that's perfectly fine. Let's explore both perspectives and discover what serves the work best." Something shifted in Give's chest, the knot of defensiveness loosening. Nour hadn't dismissed him or diminished his ideas. He had invited him into dialogue, into discovery, the mirror of self-correction. As they settled onto a bench, autumn leaves drifting around them, Nour continued, "The most valuable skill you can cultivate is the ability to correct yourself swiftly. When you discover an error in your thinking, be the first to acknowledge it. This demonstrates strength, not weakness." Give hesitated, vulnerability flickering across his face. "But won't people lose respect for me if I admit I'm wrong?" "Quite the opposite," Nour said. "People trust those who can acknowledge mistakes openly. It shows you value truth more than protecting your ego. It shows you're still growing." The art of gentle guidance. The following week, Give made an error in a crucial calculation that affected the entire project timeline. He approached Nour's desk with dread pooling in his stomach, expecting anger or disappointment. Instead, Nour simply said, "This is straightforward to fix. Let's work through it together and understand where the miscalculation occurred." Give stared at him, stunned. "You're not angry?" "Why would I be? Mistakes are inevitable in any creative work. What matters is how quickly we identify them, learn from them, and move forward." Nour pulled up a chair. "Show me your process." As they worked side by side, Give felt something he hadn't experienced in years, the warmth that comes when someone believes in your potential more than you believe in it yourself. Letting go of grudges. One autumn afternoon, a colleague who had once publicly criticized Nour's approach on a failed project approached him nervously in the break room. I think I owe you an apology," she said quietly, "for what I said 6 months ago. It was unfair." Nour's smile was genuine, reaching his eyes. "There's nothing to apologize for. We all carry stress differently, and difficult days reveal our fears, not our character." Give, who had witnessed the exchange from across the room, approached afterward. You really don't hold on to resentment, do you? Nour shook his head. Grudges are like carrying stones in your pockets. They only slow your own journey. Letting go allows you to move freely. Gives transformation. Months dissolved into seasons, and Give transformed in ways he hadn't anticipated. He learned to listen with his full attention before forming responses. He corrected his own mistakes quickly and openly, without shame. When colleagues presented ideas different from his own, he no longer declared them wrong. Instead, he said, "That's an interesting angle. Let's examine it alongside my approach and see what we discover." He treated every error as a simple problem to solve, creating safety for others to take risks and grow. He released resentment before it could take root in his heart, understanding that forgiveness was a gift he gave himself. Gradually, people began seeking his guidance, not because he demanded their respect, but because he had earned their trust through how he lived. One spring morning, Give found himself sitting under the maple tree with a new intern who felt overwhelmed by the complexity of her first major project. He smiled, remembering another courtyard conversation that had changed everything, and said gently, "Come, walk with me." And in that moment, as he began to share what he had learned not from books but from living, he realized he had become what Nour had been for him, a quiet teacher whose wisdom flowed not from proclamations, but from the steady current of how he moved through the world. Leading without authority. True leadership, Give had discovered, requires no title, no corner office, no formal power. It emerges naturally when you live with integrity, when you admit mistakes before others must point them out, when you make problems feel solvable rather than shameful, when you let go of grudges as quickly as autumn leaves fall from branches. Leadership without authority is built in quiet moments, offering help without being asked, remaining steady when chaos swirls around you, speaking truth gently rather than harshly. You become a leader not by climbing above others, but by walking beside them with wisdom earned through your own stumbles and recoveries. And perhaps most importantly, you lead by remembering that the best teachers never stop being students themselves, that influence is not seized but offered, a gift others choose to accept when they see it reflected in how you live. Now it is your time to start your journey of becoming the best quiet teacher.